days have come to an end. You shall be king.
What's up guys, today I will tell you a story about Lich King, which will follow the stories of Arthas Menethil and Ner'zhul. When Ner'zhul was killed by Kil'jaeden, and his spirit chained in Helm of Domination, which was trapped in Frozen Throne, Ner'zhul felt his consciousness expand 10,000-fold and he became spectral being of unfathomable power, the Lich King. In Land of Northrend, Lich King formed a plague of undead, which helped him conquer much of Northrend in order to get army for next invasion of Burning Legion. As he devoured more and more souls, he only grew in power as the individual undead under his control gave him much needed nourishment. Thus his powers began growing at an exponential rate. The Lich King entered a war with the kingdom of Azil-Nerub, whose ancient inhabitants were immune to his plague of undead. The 10-year conflict, known as the War of the Spider, ultimately ended with the Lich King's first major triumph. The Lich King was impressed by his enemy, however, and adopted a Nerubian architecture for his own as testament to the Spider Lord's tenacity and age. So if you know the architecture in World of Warcraft or Warcraft 3 of Undead, it's basically the Nerubian architecture which is used. Having by now established control over most of the Northrend, the Lich King then used his telepathy to reach out into Azeroth and summon any dark soul that would hear his call, focusing on masters of the arcane. Kel'Thuzad, a mage and prominent member of the Alliance Tor, answered his call. Kel'Thuzad was soon ensnared by the Lich King, faithfully serving him as the first of Cult of the Damned, a cult that would worship the Lich King as a god and be taught necromancy to better aid the undead armies.
Power that could be mine for the asking. Terrified, I ran, but did not get far. All too soon, my choice was made. Too late did I realize that such power does not come without a price.
Story continues with Lich King infecting Lordaeron, which I already taught in lore of Arthas Menethil, and you can go through in-game Warcraft Reign of Chaos and Frozen Throne. So I skipped this moment part when Arthas put Helm of Domination and became one with Ner'zhul. After the Magi, he was still telepathically in contact with his minions. He continued to influence the Scourge. During this time he instructed his minion to build Ice Crown Citadel around the Frozen Throne to protect himself from future threats. While the Lich King dreamed the various personas in his mind, the Dead Knight Arthas Menethil, the Orc Shaman Ner'zhul, and Matthias Lerner, the personification of remnants of Arthas humanity, fought for influence and control over the entity. Matthias tried to reason with Arthas, but Arthas silenced him by running him through with Frostmourne. Ner'zhul was delighted by this, declaring that he and Arthas were now free to merge into a single glorious being. Arthas rejected this offer, stating that once he had the power of Lich King, no one would tell him what to do again. He impelled the stunned Ner'zhul with Frostmourne, becoming the dominant personality of the Lich King and ending the dream.
Arthas. Strength. And I know you will show restraint when exercising your great power.
Guys, now I will continue with events from the game World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King. When Lich King awakened, he removed his own heart, believing that anything that made him at all mortal made him weak. Afterwards, he journeyed to Sindragoza's fall, where he raised an ancient dragon, Sindragoza, the first consort to Malygos, as a frost realm. Then watched his massive undead army prepare for war. Lich King started his invasion to Azeroth as many years before with infected grain, triggering Second Scourge War, Horde chieftain Troll and Alliance King Varian Vryn plan an invasion on Northrend to deal with the Lich King once and for all. Their plan starts moving once Lich King attacked capital of Horde, Orgrimmar and capital of Alliance Stormwind. Horde expedition and Alliance vanguard was formed and sent to Northrend to repel Lich King's attack. These attacks were intended to lure powerful heroes to Northrend, where the Lich King sought to corrupt them and use them against their own people, in reflection of Arthas' own journey. Lich King created the new Order of Death Knights, led by Darion Morgraine. Accompanied by two Valkyr battle maidens, they successfully forced the Scarlet Crusade from Lordaeron and defeat the Order. Lich King continued by sending his Death Knights to restore Light's Chapel, but they were unsuccessful because Paladin Tyrion Fordragon came with the army and defeated Scourge forces. Leader of Death Knights, Darion, saw his father, and when Lich King came, he stood against him.
That day is not today. Tyrion! Arthas!
What is this? Your end. Impossible. This is not over. When next we meet, it won't be on holy ground, Paladin.
This battle led to creation of two Lich King's greatest enemies, Tyrion Fordragon's Argent Crusade and Darion Morgraine Knights of Ebon Blade, an order of Death Knights who broke free from Lich King's control. Meanwhile, Horde and Alliance formed temporary alliance and attacked Icecrown Citadel with their leaders Bolvar Fordragon and Danor Saurfang, son of Varrock Saurfang, you may know from Battle of Azeroth cinematic Old Soldier if you saw it. They both was defeated because of Forsaken Betrayal, who tried to destroy Lich King, Horde and Alliance in one battle. Despite everything, Lich King survived the battle and wounded returned to Citadel, but both leaders of the Horde and Alliance was killed. Bolvar Fordragon was later tortured, and about him I will talk through this video at the end.
Death to the Scourge! And death to the living!
In the meantime, Tyrion discovered that Arthas' frozen heart had been retrieved from depths beneath Icecrown Citadel and taken to Cathedral of Darkness. Suspecting the heart might contain some remnant of Arthas' humanity, Tyrion disguised himself as member of the Cult of Damned and went to see it for himself. The Lich King arrived and saw through Tyrion's disguise, but the Paladin, having concluded the heart contained only shadows of the past, destroyed the disembodied organ with the Ashbringer. The resultant explosion killed High Invoker Base Salep, knocked Tyrion unconscious, and injured the Lich King. After Ancient Crusade prepare for their final assault, on Icecrown Citadel, first they find a way to Lich King's private chambers. During a mission, Alliance players are led by Jaina Proudmoore and Horde by Sylvanas. They encounter spirits trapped in Frostmourne. Both sides speak with Atta Lightbringer, who reveals that after Arthas is killed, new Lich King has to be named, and after this, Arthas came to the room and forced Alliance or Horde forces out. Finally, champions of the Argan Crusade, led by Tyrion Fordring, stormed Icecrown Citadel and defeated the Lich King's mightiest servants. The Lich King encased Tyrion in a block of ice, forcing him to watch helplessly as his champions battled the Lich King and his minions. Eventually, the Lich King effortlessly killed all the adventurers with a single devastating attack. The Lich King revealed that he had been waiting for Tyrion's assault all along, knowing that he would bring with him Azeroth's greatest heroes, who could then be killed and resurrected as powerful masters of the Scourge. When Lich King started to resurrect fallen heroes, Fordring, calling for the final blessing from the light, managed to break free and shattered Frostmourne with his own sword Ashbringer. The spirits who had been trapped within Frostmourne attacked the former jailer and suspended him in the air. The spirit of King Ternas Meretil resurrected Fordring's champions, who were then able to finish off the immobilized Lich King.
No king rules forever, my son.
I see only darkness before me.
Terna's spirit held Arthas in his arms as he died, then informed Tyrion that the Scourge must always have a master to control them before he vanished in the wind. Tyrion picked up the Lich King's crown and prepared to take on the burden of becoming the new Lich King. When he was stopped by the voice of Bolvar Fordragon, the undead paladin sat upon the frozen throne, having been horribly burned by dragonfire and tortured by Arthas, after fell against the Forsaken. Bolvar said that he no longer had any place in the world of living, while Tyrion still had duties to perform. In his final act of service, Bolvar would take the powers of the Lich King within himself, imprisoning the Master of the Scourge once more and keeping the undead legions in check. Tyrion reluctantly placed the crown of the Lich King on Bolvar's head. As the eyes of the frozen throne began to envelop him, Bolvar, now new Lich King, told Tyrion to tell the world the Lich King was dead, and Bolvar's voice gained the characteristic echo of Lich King. He added that Bolvar Fordragon died with him. Bolvar Fordragon later played a part in Legion, where Knights of Ebonblade vowed to fight for him if he will check the Scourge. Later, he led Death Knights to find shards of Frostmourne and forge new blades. This also foreshadowed Valen's prophecy about future Lich King to play a part in destroying Azeroth. This is everything from me about Lich King. If you guys like it, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can leave in the comments which character you want to know next. And I maybe make a longer video if you want. But for now, I think that from 10 to 15 minutes is optimal length for the video. So again, thank you guys and bye.